Now, Judge Friendly's stature in law is based on his opinions. I've looked at a bunch of them, and I've been helped in that enterprise by David Dorson's biography, and in particular, Judge Posner's preface, which is worth reading. Judge Friendly's opinions demonstrate, to me at least, three significant aspects of his craft. First, he had an open mind. Second, he had tremendous power of reason. And third, he had a pragmatic perspective, an open mind. Judge Friendly's colleague on the Second Circuit, Judge Feinberg, said that Friendly, quote, carried the full sweep of law in his mind. It was not limited by any predisposition. He wasn't pro-prosecution or pro-defendant. He wasn't liberal or conservative. You could ask his clerks. The liberals will say he was liberal, the conservatives that he was conservative. That wasn't a lexicon that he operated in. His mind was not limited by any being a disciple of any school of thought. It was not limited by any theory of legal philosophy. He was open to all arguments and would engage with all of them. Many of you, I'm sure, has experienced what is true of so many Friendly opinions. When you get one, it's cause for joy because no matter how insignificant the issue is, the entire body of law will be spelled out for you. He delighted in fitting particular case in the context of the law as a whole. Second point, compelling reason. In his opinions, all of the steps are laid out. There's no hiding the ball. There is no sweeping the pieces off the chessboard. This is what Judge Posner said about it. Quote, his analytic power, energy, speed, and work ethic made him the most powerful legal reasoner in American legal history. He applied reason, not ideology, analysis, not slogans, or mere case citations. Pragmatism. Again, Judge Posner. He tempered academic brilliance with massive common sense. The opinions for him were never a game. They did involve real people. The system had to work. They were not sterile. They told a real story. Now, as a general matter, those principles are good for judges, but they're also not bad for other officers as well. Yet much of the public discourse seems today very different. Instead of openness, most views being discussed seem to come prepackaged. Instead of reasoning, you get slogans and shouting. Instead of pragmatism, you get wacky theories that have no realm of being real in possibility. Now, as a result, truth, someone said, would be like a vintage sports car, too valuable to take out and use. Which leads me to one area where I part ways with the man that I'm so proud to call a mentor. Judge Friendly was, I think, a pessimist at heart. He was, I know, very proud of his work. You could see it in his face when he was satisfied with the product. But if he were alive today, the contrast between his efforts and things going on outside his chamber would be deeply disappointing to him and would feed, certainly, any depression. There's much in the legal arena that he would find abhorrent. Judge heckled and shouted down at a law school, protesters outside the homes of justices, to the extent that martial protection is needed 24/7. In 18 years, I'm asked, well, what was the hardest decision I had to make in 18 years? Was it this First Amendment case? Was it that death penalty case? Was it some major separation of powers case? None of those. The hardest decision I had to make was whether to erect fences and barricades around the Supreme Court. I had no choice but to go ahead and do it, but while it was going on, while the fences were going up, I kept hearing Charles Evans Hughes's remarks at the opening of the Supreme Court building. He said, "The Republic endures, and this is the symbol of its faith." But inside the court, there's cause for optimism. I am happy that I can continue to say that there has never been a voice raised in anger in our conference room. Our court consists of 9 appointees by 4 presidents. We deal with some of the most controversial issues before the country, yet we maintain collegial relations with each other. When I wander down the halls and see a colleague, I am always happy to have the chance to chat. Now, to be fair, there are many days where I don't feel like walking down the halls, so you may have to discount that a little bit. And on a final issue of concern inside the court, I want to assure people that I am committed to making certain that we as a court adhere to the highest standards of conduct. We are continuing to look at things we can do to give practical effect to that commitment. And I am confident there are ways to do that that are consistent with our status as an independent branch of government under the Constitution's separation of powers. Thank you very much for the Henry Friendly Medal. It means the world to me. Thank you.